very unfamiliar. I'm in an entirely different country. I am in Malta. Malta. It's an island south of Italy, and it is absolutely amazing so far. From what I've been able to see, this country, even though it's just an island or a couple of islands, is full of action. And if you guys are wondering what the party scene is like here, it's pretty crazy. It's Tuesday around 1 a.m. right now, and you guys will see from the backdrop, there's just people out everywhere still, and it's like this pretty much every day of the week. Just people out, just having a good time. I'm in St. Julian's, which is probably the main party district. A bit of a younger crowd, a lot of college kids, and there's supposedly in other areas that's supposed to be a little bit more mature, older, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm at St. Julian's right now. So you can hear from the background, people are still going to parties. They're not wrapping up yet, not just quite yet, but so yeah. So a few of you guys have asked me what's it like dating in the West for an Asian guy. I'm originally American, born and raised, so I can really speak to it. I think it's definitely not the easiest, depending on what you want to pursue. If you're wondering how, if it's easy or not to find people to date, it's not easy. I mean, I think most of you guys know how it is. If you're ethnic and you're in the West, or predominantly, at least the best looking women or best high value girls, they typically gravitate towards white males, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just their preference, right? So everyone has a preference, but the truth of the matter is they will have an advantage, and for a number of reasons, you know, I won't go into the detail about that, but basically this video is about what it's like to be dating in the West if you're an Asian dude. For me, you know, luckily I'm pretty tall. I'm 6'2" and decent looking, so I've been able to have some success, you know, not just with Asian girls, but just basically all types of girls, right? But obviously, with Asian girls, it's the easiest because, first of all, there are more commonalities between the two of you, and that makes things easier. So a lot of dating gurus and pickup artists, or whatever you want to call them, they tell you to self-improve, you know, go to the gym, work on your money, and you know, build your network, social circle, and all that stuff, and all of that does help and will help. So if you spend your time working on those stuff, you're going to increase your value as a man, and you're going to have more options in those situations, right? Um, but no matter how much you work on yourself, there's going to be a limit. Like, just because you are now more attractive, have more money, you have more options, there's still an upper limit. You can't really go beyond a certain point. Like, don't expect yourself, let's say, as a guy, you're looked at as a package, right? You're judged by your looks, okay, your height, your build, and just kind of one category, your overall looks, right? Those three things. And then you have your money, right? And then your status. So altogether, combined, is kind of like your total sexual market value. So versus a girl, basically it's just her looks. So if she's a 7 or 8, then really you have to be a 7 or 8, a lot of times even higher, for that girl to want to date you, right? So as a package, remember, keep in mind package. So you can't just be super rich and have zero looks, right? And zero status. Like, you're super ugly, super fat, super out of shape. You're still not gonna land like a Victoria's Secret model, right? Despite being super rich. So it has to be a combination of the three, averaging out to be a score, right? Of 7 or 8 if you want to date a 7 or 8. So that's something to keep in mind. And as an ethnic guy in the West, you are unfortunately not going to be viewed as high value, because nevertheless, that country you're in, the West, is predominantly, Caucasian, and they're seen as the, being on the top of the food chain, right? So you're gonna have to work extra hard to overcome that. So let's just put it this way. Like, for example, see if I turn on my light a little brighter here. Seems a little dark. Oh shit, might be running out batteries here. Imagine being overall 7 or 8, 7, you work really hard, you've built up your wealth status. Imagine you're being a 7 and you're ethnic, right? You're still not going to be able to compete with a guy. A lot of times, in my experience at least, from what I see, you're not going to be able to compete with a guy, maybe a white guy that's in his, maybe he's ranked maybe a 6 overall. He's maybe ranked 6, or maybe sometimes even a 5.5, despite you being a point and point and a half higher. Just because, more people in the West are predominantly, Caucasian, and they're going to gravitate towards the people of their own race. So, as difficult as it is, that's the fact, right? It's uncomfortable, but that is the fact. So, what should you do, right? So what should you do? I mean, to overcome that, there's a couple of things you can do. Um, you know, you can move overseas, right? If you have the means to do that, not everyone can do that, but if you can, that's definitely an option. Because if you go overseas, maybe to a country that has more Asians, right? I'm just using Asians for example, but like it could be other races as well. Middle Eastern, you can go back, you can go to the Middle East. I'm sure, you're going to be more widely accepted. So if you go back to or go to a country where you're more similar to others, where you're more widely accepted, chances are you're going to do better. There's just no. Actually, I know for sure you're going to do better. I've been to many countries and I see the difference. It's just a glaring difference, and um, I can be a 7 or 8, maybe a 7. Let's just say I'm a 7 in Asia, right? And if I come to, which should, I do very well in Asia when it comes to dating girls, and not just Asian girls when I refer to this, because when you're in Asia, the non-Asian girls that are there have already kind of accepted, for lack of a better word, Asian people. They're used to Asian people. They like the culture. So you will not be all that different. And they will, see you on almost like a level playing field as other races, right? So that automatically puts you at a better situation. You know what I mean? Um, but on the flip side, me being a 7, for example, in Asia, and coming to the West, my value instantly goes down. Instantly goes down. Maybe I am a 5 to most other people in this area in comparison. So the interest level I get from people is completely the opposite, almost not opposite, but just noticeably different. I would get way more looks, way more indicators of interest from females when I'm in other countries, especially Asian countries, but even in eastern part of Europe, I get way more attention. Over here in the West, United States, Canada, UK, it's I'm just like a normal person. Once in a while, so get looks, but I have to really try harder. So, with that said, right, I think that without going into further detail is what I've been able to do and what I would suggest other people to do is, definitely work on yourself, right? And obviously don't make getting girls the only reason why you want to work. Make yourself better. But get your money, your status, and your looks maxed. And then as soon as you can move to another country like the East, do it, right? Just do it. It's just gonna make your life that much easier. Whereas in the West, it's almost like an uphill battle, right? There's only going to be a certain amount of people that are going to be open to dating outside of race. And if the majority of the country is white in the West, it's not like they don't like you. They're just not open to dating outside of race. So your pool is just much smaller. It almost, begs the question, why? Why wouldn't you want to be, like business in your job or whatever? You want to, succeed in an environment where it's the easiest to succeed, right? Where you don't have to try too hard to get something. You want it to be easy. So that's what I would recommend is if you can, if you want like a good dating life, if you want good choices, get your money right, gym max, loop max, whatever it is, and then move to a country where you're treated best, right? And also where the competition is not as fierce, right? So in the West, you are going to be competing against a lot of, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, good-looking guys, tall, muscular dudes, right? What you see in the movies, basically. So your competition is definitely fierce. And if you had the choice, definitely think about moving abroad. And you don't have to necessarily, expat, like get rid of your citizenship in the U.S. or anything like that. Hello. Look at this. This is how Malta is. Just tons of action. But not many Asian people here. And there are stereotypes of Asian people. And if you speak, perfect English when you're traveling abroad in Europe especially, make sure you speak loud and clear, so that they know you're from a country that is more, I don't know, I guess, widely accepted. I don't know, that sounds kind of weird. Not saying, Asian countries aren't good. I'm proud to be who I am, and, and my background is Asian, right? So, you just gotta not be as timid, I feel, as that's important. So yeah, I hope that helps. I think I've been rambling a little bit. But yeah, there's a big difference in terms of even just swiping Tinder, right? I almost, this is what I can tell you, I can almost tell whether or not I'll do well in a specific country just by Tinder. I mean, actually, I know for sure. I don't almost know, I know for sure. You just go there, and a lot of times in the countries, you'll get one or two, three matches a day. And then you will go to other parts of the world, like, for example, Eastern Europe. Depending on what kind of girls you like, right? I would get, 10, 12 matches a day. And if I'm in Asia, like in Hong Kong, then or China or wherever, having been to the Philippines, but I'm sure, based on my experience in just Hong Kong alone, it could be over 10, 15, maybe even 20 matches if I really swiped out my, 50 likes I get. If you get 50 likes a day free, I never go for that, Tinder Go stuff. So, yeah. So you just know it's such a good litmus test to gauge you know, your value. So Tinder, as terrible as it sounds, it really demonstrates how much value you have in a particular area. So, yeah. So bottom line, I don't want to beat this to death. Is if you're not content, obviously if you're content with where you are, you're okay with, if you're ethnic, right? If you're okay with where you are in your dating life, just know for a fact you will do better. You will do better elsewhere. You will do a bit better in other countries. But if you're already content, you don't need the best of the best. You don't need to move anywhere. If you're happy, just stay with, where you are and the quality of, girls you get. But just keep in mind, you will get better results elsewhere. There's no doubt about it. So, that's all I have for right now. If I think of anything else, I'll add to this. But thanks for watching, guys.